All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome. I'm Michelle,
I'm Jim, and we are
a
a
Teague
Teague
of
of
your
Your
own.
Own.
Welcome to another Motivational Monday.
Let's get motivated.
Woo!
Woo!
Yay! It's a beautiful day in the
Yay!
neighborhood.
Of course it is.
Yay!
Yay! Woo!
Uh, this morning we have a guest. We have Sheri Betts has joined us from all the way out in California and LA.
California.
Yeah, she's in Southern California. So welcome, Sheri.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We're glad you could make it. Tell everybody a little bit about you. Tell everybody what a fabulous person you are and what you do.
well, as you can see, my name is Sheri Betts, and I am an organizational development professional and author of the book "The ABCs of Self-Care: Your Guide to Creating a More Happy, Healthy, and Peaceful Life." And I provide leadership coaching services for those looking to advance in their career. And I also do well being coaching for those who want to improve the quality of their personal and professional life. I also do speaking engagements, helping individuals and organizations learn the importance of self care and optimizing performance strategies. And one of the keys to improving the quality of your life and your career is to develop a self-care mindset. So that's one of my missions in life, is to help everyone understand the importance of having a self-care mindset. And I'll talk
Awesome.
a little bit more about that later.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Tell everybody who you serve. Who is your ideal person to reach?
So my ideal person to reach are individuals who are interested in leadership coaching or well-being coaching, and also
Mhm.
organizations who want to save money and to improve the quality of lives of their employees. So these are companies that care about their medical costs and what it's
Mhm.
costing them to insure their employees, and want to develop preventative strategies,
Mhm.
proactive strategies to improve their bottom line. So those are the companies that I'm looking to work with.
Okay,
Excellent.
good, good.
Excellent.
So, a lot of people think that self care is just, as we were talking about, going and getting a pedicure or getting massage or things like that. But they would be wrong. Could you explain what self care really means?
Sure, sure. I define self-care as the taking an active role in protecting your happiness and well-being.
Mhm.
And there's some key words there. Active, meaning you have to take action, you have to do something different to get a different result. And then protecting is a key word because it's the act of taking care of yourself better than or as well as you do your loved ones.
Mm.
So it's like being self care is like a shield that helps people to protect themselves from the outside world.
Awesome. It's
Okay.
almost like you've got your suit of armor there, or like you said, your shield to help keep you safe. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It keeps you safe and it keeps you more productive. A lot of people think that
Mhm.
self-care is one of those things that you do when you have time. But if you proactively practice self-care and have a self-care mindset, you're actually going to get more done. You're going to have peak performance. You're going to be not just happier and have better well-being, you're going to be healthier
Mhm.
as an individual and able to do more because you have your health. People don't value sometimes their health, or they take it for granted. A lot of
Yeah.
times we just take it for granted.
And I think younger people
Yes.
tend to take it for
Because they
granted
think they're
because
invincible.
Absolutely.
yes,
Yep.
That,
the older you get, the more
The
you
more you
figure
realize
out.
you're not
right,
invincible.
Yeah.
right. Exactly. Oh, you're so correct. In fact, one of my goals in life is to help young people realize the importance of learning these important life skills before they get to our age and realize, oh man,
Yeah.
I've got to do something different. But a lot of times we think of self care as you said, Michelle, a pampering activity,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
and those are great to do. I love a good mani pedi. I get massages. I go to pause studios so that I can float in a pod and feel
Nice.
amazing. But those are really temporary strategies to feel good, and they don't last. But having a self-care mindset will help you to have a strategy that works long term. And every day when you make a choice of how you spend your time and what you do for your self-care, that will have a cumulative effect and can help you to be more happy, have better well-being, and be more productive. That's what I keep telling people. You can do less and get more done because you're productive and you have better well-being.
Yeah. What is one strategy that somebody could put into place to help them develop this self-care mindset?
Well, oh boy, so the book has 26 different habits and strategies that
Okay.
you can
Well, what would be a good first
yes.
step for somebody?
So I believe one of the most important chapters in the book is have healthy self-advocacy. That's
Okay.
letter H. And what that means is it's balancing the wants and needs of others with your own wants and needs. And so oftentimes there's a myth that people say self-care is selfish. Well,
Mhm.
selfish is an extreme. Selfish and narcissism are a whole other extreme of healthy. B- it's not healthy. It's the other extreme. But the other extreme, which is a lot of where people normally live, is in that selflessness extreme. So they take care of everybody better than they do themselves. In fact, I did at one time as well, which is why I say I wrote the book I needed to read.
Yeah.
So having healthy self advocacy is somewhere in the middle. So sometimes you need to be more selfless because someone needs you or someone's in
Mhm.
great need. But the other extreme, being extremely selfish, is not good either. So you want to balance the wants and needs of others with your own wants and needs, and that's advocating for yourself, and that's
Right.
healthy self advocacy. So I think that's one of the most important strategies in the book.
Excellent. I know when you were talking about that, I instantly thought about all the parents out there of
Yes.
young children. And when you have young children, you often are not putting yourself first. You have to, you've got these young children that you have to take care of, and you're trying to make sure that they are doing well. And you don't necessarily take care of yourself at that point.
Yes, yes, and one of the things that I learned in my research for the book, Michelle, is that there are a lot of working mothers,
Mhm.
mothers who are still working, and also taking care of their home,
Mhm.
and oftentimes they are selfless to the point of exhaustion and burnout, and then that affects them at work. And
Yeah.
so women a lot of times feel like they need to be more selfless because they are mothers, but in just like in your work life, you will do better with self-care if you take care of yourself, if you become your own best friend and
Mm.
take care of yourself as well as you do your loved ones. Then you're in a better position to be a better mom, to be a better employee, to be a better leader. And those are the things that I'm trying to instill in people, that self-care is a foundation for your life. So even if you have a kids at home, and maybe you need to bring your husband into or wife into the picture more, ask for
Mhm.
help, so that you can get your needs met, so you can be a better wife and mother to your family. So of course, if you're if your child is sick and you have to be more selfless at that moment, then that means you might have to move the scale a little bit and be a little more selfish after the baby or your child gets well,
Mhm.
so that you're balancing the wants and needs of others with yours. So it's not a one and done. It's not
Nope.
the
Mhm.
same ratio. It's not going to be 50-50 all the time. You
No.
just have to, as I say, letter L, listen to your body, listen to what you need, so that you can adjust and determine how selfish you need to be or selfless you need to be.
Yeah.
Excellent.
See, I equate this to when you're on an airplane and they're giving you all the safety instructions.
Yes.
When they talk about the oxygen mask dropping down, they always tell you, who should you put the mask on first? Yourself, because you can't help others if you can't function properly.
Correct.
So,
Exactly.
same idea.
That's so true. That is a great analogy.
So we've been talking a little bit about how individuals can focus on self-care. And you've brought up a few times how much more productive people who practice self-care can be.
Mhm.
Tell us a little bit more about how companies and organizations out there can promote and encourage their employees to practice self-care and what the benefits are for them.
Sure. So I say a lot always starts with the leader. So a leader sets the tone, it sets the culture of the organization and of the team. So if a leader is texting and calling their employees or emailing at 11 o'clock at night when, people should be in bed,
Yeah.
most people who work are in bed. So that sets a tone, that sets an example. And so I think helping leaders to understand the importance of self-care and understanding the proactive strategies they can take to make sure that they're in good condition so that they can lead their and be a good role model for their team or for their organizations. So that's one. Leadership development training is one way that you can do that. Leadership coaching also, because a lot of times it's individual, because everyone's individual situation is different. Everybody's situation is different. Their team is different. So it's hard to just sometimes figure out what is it for a particular leader. So I've coached one individual who was snapping at their team, very impatient, not taking time for employee development. This individual, so the presenting problem was this person is not a good leader. But as we delved a little deeper into the root cause of why this person wasn't a good leader, we learned that this person was not eating properly. They weren't sleeping very well. And sleep is so important to a person's body to rejuvenate. And so this person wasn't protecting their health, happiness, and well-being. And that was causing them to be a poor leader. And so we worked on some of the underlying issues of self-care, and then we worked on ways that he could be more present for his team. And that is what we did in a coaching process, because that was individual to him. So what companies can do is support first of all, leadership coaching within their organization, but they can also promote wellness and a little more proactively. In most cases, they will provide resources on a website and encourage people to go there. But oftentimes, that isn't publicized, so that people don't even know that it's there or how to access it. So if there is a company sanctioned event where they had a speaker come in and talk about self-care and the importance and helping helping employees see the mind body connection, because a lot of times people don't realize that a lot of time their illness is related to emotional stress, and emotional stress is the contributor to the 6 leading causes of death. So cancer, heart disease, accidents, respiratory disorders, cirrhosis of the liver, and suicide. Those are all the 6 leading causes of death, and emotional stress is a large contributor to it. So when companies think that they can stress out their employees and get the most from them, they're really basically setting that person up for death. You're an early death,
Yeah.
and you find people, going out on stress leave. If you look at some of the research in your company to find out why are most people going out on leave, it's probably medical leave. or stress leave, and it's for things that have been percolating in someone that has caused the emotional stress has caused their disease. So the mind body connection is really important in helping employees understand that connection and understand how they can prevent and protect themselves. That will reduce the company's medical costs,
Mhm.
their costs to have to replace people who are on medical
Mhm.
leave with contractors that are more expensive. Those are all costs that companies absorb as a way of doing business, but you could do business a little more efficiently if you were to be proactive about educating employees on the importance of self-care.
Yeah. Um, One of the topics that we have talked about a few times in the past is the Great Resignation.
Yeah.
We've
Yes.
also talked about quiet quitting. And I imagine that if organizations would encourage their employees to take some time for self-care, that you may not have as many people leaving. You may not have as many people doing the quiet quitting thing.
Yes.
That, like you said, they're going to be more productive, and as a result, the organization itself will be more productive.
Yes, exactly. And that's what's really important. A lot of times in organizations, as an organizational development professional, I get asked a lot to help with teams. And let's do team development. Let's, do team building. And really what is needed is a focus on the individual on that team,
Mhm.
because those individuals are the ones who have individual wants and needs, who are motivated differently, who have to be there for the whole team. So if you focus more on the individuals in the team instead of team development, focus on individual development as opposed to team development, you're going to find you're going to have much more productive and engaged workers. I know that's a big buzzword in
Yeah.
corporations,
Yep.
is having people be engaged, which is the opposite of quiet quitting.
Yes.
Yes.
Um,
That
so
is.
Mhm.
yeah, so I believe you have to focus more on individual development and to make sure that individuals are taking good care of themselves and are motivated in a way that will help them to be more productive at work. And a lot of times, if a person is not happy with how their leader treats them or how their leader pays attention to them, they will leave the company. And there's a very strong statistic I'm sure you've probably heard about, that people don't leave companies, they leave managers.
Yep.
Yep.
And so if a manager isn't respectful of their needs for self-care and more, I like this. Work-life balance is a myth because you can't do 50-50,
No.
Right.
but you have to work at greater balance.
Yeah.
And it's a process of a push and stretch and then recuperate, push, stretch, and recuperate. So that's a pattern or a cycle you have to go through in order to have a happier, healthier, and more peaceful life.
Yeah, one of the terms that I like to use, and like you said, I don't believe in work-life balance because it's next to impossible to have that
Yeah.
50-50 split, which is what most people think about when they think
Yes.
of balance. I prefer the term, the phrase work-life harmony,
Oh,
where you're working in harmony in these different uh, parts and aspects of your life. So any given time, you may focus more on one area than another, but that's okay as long as it's in
yes.
harmony with everything else. Yeah.
So correct. I like that. Like work-life harmony. I like that.
Yes. Awesome. Awesome. Um, did you have any other questions? Because I know from the financial point of view, you're probably thinking, "Ooh, people really can save a lot of
Oh,
money on
sure,
this."
absolutely. I mean, because I think in the business world, we know that when you have happy, healthy employees, they're generally going to be more productive.
Right.
So, this is a concern that many companies have, but they haven't been able to really focus on this sort of thing because of having such a problem with even keeping people, and the lack of available quality people just because, our workforce participation is way down,
Right.
and we're still waiting for that to bounce back. And so I think it becomes even more critical in that case for leaders. I like the term leaders as opposed to managers.
Yeah.
That leaders, because leaders are the ones who truly make things happen, focus on their people, make sure that they do have that work-life harmony.
Yeah.
So they can be productive and still feel like, they're having a life, that it's not constantly work.
Yep.
Yes, yes. And you know what? One of the things that I've noticed as a leadership coach, a lot of times leaders focus more on managing up than they do managing their employees. And
Mhm.
I understand that concept, and I applaud you for managing up, and because you oftentimes need to in order to get the advocacy and to be promoted and to get the visibility that you need to continue to be promoted and provide for your family in a better way.
Mhm.
However, I think it's a win-win if you also focus on your employees, because focusing on your employees and their well-being and their happiness and their engagement at work, they're going to make you look good.
Yes.
Mhm.
And that's what you want as a leader. You want your employees to make you look good. But oftentimes that quiet quitting happens because people are like, oh, he or she doesn't care about me. They only care about promoting their career and moving up. So why should I bother busting my butt to make them look good? Because they don't care about my development.
Right.
And so I would encourage leaders to focus on not only managing up, but also managing their employees, managing their development, taking time to spend one-on-one time with that individual and finding out what motivates them, what's important to them, what do they want for their career, and how can help them develop. And many successful leaders that I know have said, helping people get what they want is going to help me get what I want.
Exactly.
And so if leaders could see leadership as broad and making it a win-win, I think there will be less resignations and less quiet quitting while on the job.
Yeah, that cycles right back into something that we talk about all the time. Every time that we do a training, servant leadership.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Goes full circle.
It does.
It does. It does. It really does. And oftentimes when people hear the term servant leadership, they're thinking, oh, well, I just have to be there for my employee. And I'm going to be a better leader if that's the case. Now, if you are thinking of it as win-win, servant leadership is about also helping you as you help your employees, but helping them to get what they want will serve you better
Yes.
than to just managing up. So I agree. Servant leadership is an important concept in corporations.
Well, like Zig Ziglar tells us, if you help enough people get what they want, they
You'll
will
get
help
what
you
you
get
want.
what you want.
Yep.
Yes, I
So
forgot. I was wondering. I couldn't remember who said that. I knew it was
Well, one of my all-time favorite quotes. I say it all the time.
yeah.
Okay. Yes, and that works as it relates to self-care as well.
Yes. Awesome. Well, this has been a
Yeah.
fabulous time spent with
Yeah,
you,
it's been great.
Sheri. If somebody wants to get in contact with you, what is the best way for them to reach out to you?
So the best way to reach out to me is my website, www.abcsofselfcare.com. That's probably the best way. I have forms on there you can complete. I hope you'll join my mailing list and keep in touch. I could occasionally send out emails with tips and other information that could be valuable for you. In addition, I'm on Instagram. My Instagram is at ABCs of Self Care. And I'm also on LinkedIn, and we can connect on LinkedIn and stay in touch. And if you'd like to email me directly, I'm at info@ABCs of Self Care.
Excellent. And one of the other things, obviously, you have this book, The
Yes.
ABCs of Self Care. Can they order that on your website? Where can they get a copy of the book?
Oh, great. Thanks for asking. So, my book is available on Amazon.com. It's also available on BarnesandNoble.com and any other website where they do online book ordering. It's also available in Hudson Booksellers at
Nice.
the airport.
Nice.
And
Oh,
so you can get a copy while you're busy traveling. It's a great read for an airplane because each chapter is self-contained. You can read a chapter at a time and put it down. There's also a reflection section in each in the book so that you can journal about your ideas in the book. And then there's suggested actions. I'm a coach at heart, so there's always actions that you can take for better self-care. And there's a playlist, so you can choose songs to help get you motivated.
ah,
Awesome.
nice.
Love it. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Sheri, for joining us. I know you've added massive value to everybody who has seen this live. So thank you. And we're so glad that you could join us today.
Thank you so much, Jim and Michelle, for having me today. I've really enjoyed it. And I think you guys are doing great work. And I'm really excited and happy to be a part of this or of what you're doing. So thank you
Excellent.
very much for having me.
Thank
You are
you.
most
Yeah.
welcome. And if you want to get in contact with us, if you're interested in being a guest on our live, like Sheri is, how could they reach out to us?
They can contact us by email,
What is that email?
info@ateagueofyourown.com.
That is correct.
And
What else?
you can see the logo there. It says Teague of Your Own. Put it all together as one word. Make sure you spell Teague right. Facebook,
Yep.
LinkedIn,
Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram.
Instagram.
Yep.
Where else?
We're on YouTube out here.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
that's right. YouTube.
And they can go to our website,
Yes. Oh, yeah.
ateagueofyourown.com.
Yes.
Give us a call, send us a text. What's the phone number?
412-420-7975.
There you go. All right, everybody. We're looking forward to seeing all of you next week. Until then, have a fantastic week. And thanks once again, Sheri.
Yeah. Thank you, Sheri.
Thank you. Take care, everyone. Take good
Bye,
self-care.
everyone. Yes.
Yes.